What's up, creative? Today we're diving into how to create a rich atmospheric cloudscape layer by layer. I'll be working from this beautiful reference and using Master's Touch acrylic paint with the 3 primary colors and values. Our first tool that we'll be using is a large flat brush, so begin by studying your reference for light direction. In this case, the warm sunset glows from the left, shifting into cooler purples and blues towards the right. So here I'm blocking in the sky's gradients first, soft blues and yellows, working my way downward into pinks and oranges. You want to keep your brushstrokes horizontal to mimic the horizon stability. And here's a cloud tip. Lighter clouds typically sit higher, while denser, darker clouds gather closer to the horizon. Let this guide your value range and placement. Next, I'm jumping to the cloud base color by mixing a dark violet and adding a tint of white towards the clouds that sit closer in perspective. Next, you can loosely mark where your major cloud shapes will be. Don't focus on the details too much. This is just the roadmap, not the finished piece. You can use thin, diluted paint for this stage, so it's easy to paint over later. And if you want to use a total different reference, you should understand how clouds interact with light. So start by observing the time of day and the mood of the sky. It can be sunset, stormy, clear blue, whatever. This influences your base colors. It could be cool blues, purples, or warm oranges. So because this is a sunset, my clouds tend to be more prominent in purple. So that's why you see I'm using a variation of purples to mark where the highlights and shadows will belong throughout this process. And because the light source is coming from the lower left-hand side, the clouds that catch the most light will have a tint of bright yellow on the edge of the billows and a deep violet for the crease of the overlapping clouds. So now that we're wrapping up step 1 with color blocking, let's get into step 2 with building depth. So for my next tools, I'll be using a large filbert and small filbert styled brush. Now, if you know, you know, these brushes are my favorite because they're perfect for blending and defining. So here I'm going to start with my furthest cloud layer, then work my way to the foreground by building each major segment of clouds. This helps break your painting into puzzle pieces and focuses on one piece at a time to build form and prepare for detail. So with my furthest cloud layer, I'm going to gently sweep in some white, airy streaks. I've also added a hint of the sunlight breaking the sky, which I will continue to build with vibrancy in further steps. Here I'm stippling in a pure white for sporadic cloud shapes to form the single cloud floating in the background. Now as I move to the mid-cloud layer, I'm introducing more defined billows and slightly stronger contrast. And this is another fun tool that would really give breath to your clouds. Mop brushes have fluffy, loose packed bristles that distribute paint in a delicate, airy way. This softness lets you blend colors without leaving harsh lines, making cloud edges look more natural and breathed into the sky. So you want to feather out the paint, creating those dreamy transitions from bright highlights to muted shadows. This helps clouds feel three-dimensional and weightless. All right, let's get into step T. Let's get into step 3 with detailing in liquid gold leaf accents. So now that we have some form going, we're still going to follow the same steps with going down the segments. So here I'm using my small round brush to define the brightest edges where sunlight kisses the cloud tops. And here's a fun fact. Clouds look fluffier when they have a balance of hard and soft edges. So hard edges catch the eye, while soft edges create that depth. I've added a glow of orange to reflect the sky and deeper purples to get in the crevices of those clouds. Now, though we're working in segments, you want to step back often to see how the shapes read from a distance. Trust your instincts and allow the room for experimentation. No two skies are ever the same. And so for here, I'm adding contrast between light and shadow using controlled layering. You don't want to overblend this. Texture and imperfection bring that character out. Now, while you want to emphasize bright highlights, especially on the sunlit side, you also want to pay attention to how shadows lie. This gives the perfect balance of volume and depth for clouds. So let me break it down a little bit more. Imagine clouds as 3D objects catching light. You have your top highlights, your mid-tone body, and soft shaded underbellies. Use warm whites for the sunlight, and depending on the time of day, you use a deeper tone for the shadows. And you want to vary your pressure and stroke direction to keep it natural. Not every cloud looks the same, and that's the beauty. Painting clouds is a balance of observation and imagination. Understanding how clouds form, recognizing those visual patterns, and painting with playfulness and purpose is what brings the sky to life on your canvas. Let the sky be your playground. Soft strokes, bold moves, and no fear of messing up. The beauty of clouds is in their freedom. So as I wrap this up, I do want to add a chef's kiss, okay? Because we cannot forget about the gold leaf. Now this is optional, but I'm taking my liner brush, dipped in the liquid gold leaf, and tracing the edges of select billows. Think of it as the cloud's jewelry and the ultimate ding for the sun's kisses. So listen, don't get caught up in perfection. Clouds in real life are constantly changing, and your painting should feel just as free. Trust your brushstrokes, enjoy the process, and remember, your version of the sky will never exist again. So that's what makes it special. Now, if you love this workshop, be sure to drop some clouds in the comments and subscribe for more free tutorials. Let's learn together so that we can grow together. I'll catch you next time.